How you doing, Ampit? It's been a minute. I know. Doing a quick video because I'm tired of looking at social media and everything is Bad Bunny this and Bad Bunny that. Halftime show in the Super Bowl. One of the remarks that he's not even American. A brief history lesson of Puerto Ricans. We were made U.S. citizens for one reason and one reason only. When the United States took over Puerto Rico, they took it from the Spaniards in the Spanish-American War. Way back when, the year was 1898, the Spanish-American War. The United States took it, and they needed men to fight their wars. World War One, then later on World War Two, Korea, Vietnam, and so on and so forth. But in order for a Puerto Rican to enlist in one of the armed forces to fight for the United States, they had to become a U.S. citizen. And that's why we became U.S. citizens. The only reason. Not because the United States was feeling kind that day. They took our island. Another thing I don't agree with, I refuse to call Puerto Rico Puerto Rico. That was the name Christopher Columbus gave our island when he took it over, which in English translates to rich port because Puerto Rico had a lot of gold. Our true name to our island is Borinque, which means lands of welcome, from the Taino Indians. Now, whether it's Puerto Rico, Borinquen, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Jamaica, the Virgin Islands, that was all the Ararat nation, Taino. So, people ask me, where you from? I go, I'm Taino. I go, what? What you mean? I refuse to call myself Puerto Rican. Thanks to my grandmother and great-grandmother, they taught me the Taino way. I'm also not Catholic. The Tainos worship a sun god by the name of Atabey. So that was the same thing for Dominican Republic and Cuba. Atabey, our sun god. Whether you're Mayan, Aztec, Inca, sun god. Egypt, sun god. It's all sun god. None of them worship a man nailed to a cross. No, everybody has the right to believe in what they believe in. That's your right. But with that being said, that's just a quick history of how Puerto Ricans became U.S. citizens and everybody else needs a green card. They needed us to fight their wars. That was the only reason. The United States did a lot of bad things to what you call Puerto Rico. They had a army base in Vieques. They experimented with bombs. To this day, there's radiation coming out of the ground. That's why Vieques has the highest rate of cancer to this day. They experimented on our women. They wanted to kill the woman's reproductive system. And this island in Puerto Rico called La Isla de los Monos, Monkey Island, they claimed they were only experimenting on monkeys. Not true. They're experimenting on women. So that's just a brief history. I don't want to get into it because this video will be 10 hours long. Do your own research. Everything's online. So to say that Bad Bunny is not a U.S. citizen, you're wrong. We didn't ask for it. We didn't have a choice. That's that. We have more depressing and urgent things to worry about than Bad Bunny performing in a halftime show. We got ICE. I never thought I'd live to see the day where I feel that the United States is a third world country right now, or even worse. All these people getting apart from their families has been here already. Um, I don't got a problem with ICE taking away the bad. Venezuela sent all these horrible people, murderers and stuff, to the United States. Yeah, take those people, send them back. Shit, kill them for all I care. But an honest working person that's making a living here, that's not creating trouble for nobody, that's just here to work to support their families, leave them the F alone. They started with Mexicans. Now, another brief history lesson. The Mexicans were here first. That's right. What did you say, Richie? Yeah, the Mexicans were here first. Ancestors, Incas, Mayans, Aztecs, they were here first. Cousin of the Native American Indian. So if you're not Native American Indian, I hate to tell you, you're an immigrant. You know. I had this white dude not too long ago on my bus. Like, go back to your country, faggot. That's what he told me. He was mad that I didn't let him off the bus on a non-bus stop. I said, I am in my country. By the way, what tribe you from? And I fucked his head up when I asked him that. He goes, what? I said, what tribe you from? Because you're not Native American Indian, faggot. You're an immigrant. Of course, he told me, F you, this suck my dick, whatever. Come outside the bus, I'll F you up, whatever. Yeah, whatever, dude. You know, learn your history, faggot. So if anybody deserved to build a wall, it should have been the Native American Indians and the Aztecs and the Mayans. California, Texas. That was all Mexico. Yeah, but the United States came and took it. So Mexicans are not immigrants. They belong here. They have the right. Their ancestors were here first, along with the Native American Indians. So, talking about Native American Indians, if somebody has a right to cry and claim blood, it's the Native American Indian. Anybody ever heard of the Trails of Tears? When the United States chased them out of their land, here, walk this path, get to the other side, and you have land. Guess what? They never made it. They killed over 3,000 Native American men, women, and children. To this day, they're finding skeletons in that trail. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. Everybody talks about Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all these social medias. Bad Bunny, man, get a life, people. We're in the brinks of World War III. Our president already bombed 7 countries, I think. I lost count. We got Russia, China, Cuba, Korea, everybody threatening us. Return this Venezuelan president back or suffer the consequences. Who made us the world police? But that's never changed. The United States has been taking stuff from other people since the beginning of time. The only difference now is that we see it on social media. You know, so that's that. So that's my brief on this video today. I mean, I'm just tired of hearing Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny. You know what the problem is? Here in the United States, we think we're untouchable. Anybody ever remember September 11th? Were we untouchable then? We lost the world icons, World Trade Center 1 and 2, right? That was in our own backyard. How many people died that day? 3,000? 343 firemen? Cops? EMS workers? That was in our own backyard. So how untouchable are we? Something to think about. That's what we should be worried about. Not Bad Bunny. So with that being said, I set my piece. That's my opinion only. You don't have to agree with me. You could tell me to go F myself, whatever. I don't care. On a different note, I got my Sauron back. from Powerful Lithium. It had a new wiring harness put in. She's performing better than ever. Now, according to Mr. E, he got his up to 87 miles per hour. And we got the same setup. I basically copied what he had. I saw his video on the social motor and controller. The Powerful Lithium 72 volt 60 amp hour battery, bro. The Elite Pro. That battery is sick, man. I get 100 miles to a charge. And thanks to Mr. E's charger, I could do EV charging. In 40 minutes, I'm at 10% to 90%. 50 volts. It's crazy, man. I don't have to wait 6 hours to charge my bike. Go to any EV charger, Tesla, whatever, and charge my bike in half an hour. That's crazy. So thank you, Mr. V, Powerful Lithium. Thank you, Arden, a.k.a. Sparky. I call him Sparky. If anybody is familiar with the show Speed Racer, animated cartoon in the 60s, the mechanic on the Mach 5 was Sparky. So I call Arden Sparky because he's really good at what he does. So Sparky, thank you. Thank you, Powerful Lithium. Thank you, Mr. E, for your video. Did I need all that stuff? No. All I needed was a controller. The one that Tahoe put on the bike, I wasn't happy with. It was meant for a scooter, not an e-bike. But after watching Mr. E's video, I was like, oh, shit, why not? I'm single. I don't have no bills like that. I got a truck payment and my rent. That's it. So why not splurge on myself? You know, I named the bike Overkill because it is overkill, for me at least. I'm never going to do 87 miles an hour on the bike. I actually had Tile detune the damn thing to 70 miles per hour. The fastest I ever went one was 68. And I got scared of it. I'm not going to lie, I got scared of it. And that was on sports mode. The bike has race mode. I have not touched that at all. No way in hell am I going to do 80, 90 miles an hour on the e-bike. Hell no. I love myself too much for that. Did I do it for bragging rights? Maybe. I don't know. Just to say I have it? Because I'm never going to put it to that speed. People that know me, I don't pass 50 miles an hour. You know, I want to go that fast. I'll get me a motorcycle, which I did. I bought a CB300R. Top speed is 100 miles an hour. And I don't even do 100 miles an hour on that motorcycle. I bought it to commute. Don't worry, guys. I'm not leaving EV. Just a parking situation where I live at is horrible. So I leave the truck parked and I get on the motorcycle and go. I'm 3 miles away from work. I get 190 miles to 1 gallon of gas. So that's why I did that. I mentioned on the previous video, this 15 miles per hour e-bike law in New York, which is stupid. It's stupid, it's dangerous, it's putting our life in danger. Here in New York, the 95% of the residential areas are 25 miles per hour, which no motorist respects or obeys. My bus route takes me along Pelham Parkway, section of the Bronx, Fordham Road, and the speed limit is 25. Does anybody do 25? No. They do 50. Double. To race to the next traffic light. Ridiculous. But yet they don't want an e-biker to do 15 miles per hour. We can't use the bike lanes. We can't use a path. Can't be on the sidewalk, etc. So they expect us to do 15 miles per hour in normal traffic when everybody else is doing 50. We're going to get run over. They also want us to register and insure the bikes in New York. I went to the motor vehicles. Not happening. We need a VIN number. There's an application in the motor vehicles to apply for a VIN number. Those of you that do kit cars and stuff, that's what it's there for. But we can't even get that in New York. We don't qualify. I know. I went through it. But thanks to my brother Tahoe in Maryland, he did me the favor and registered my bike. in Maryland. So I have registration, I have insurance, and I went and got the motorcycle endorsement on my CDL license. So I'm legit. Now keep in mind, that being said, in New York, they can still take my bike. Damn, Richie, why? You're legit. No, bro. You go to Lunar Cycle, first page, it reads off-road use only. So it doesn't matter if you have headlights, taillights, turn signals, mirrors, pedals. Pedal is legal up to 250. The motor 250. That's it. You're not supposed to pass 20 miles an hour. Anything over that, you're in a different class. My bike has 40 kilowatts max. So no way in hell that I'm legal. Just 2 years ago, they took my Triple X in Jersey City. I had pedals. I had everything up that I mentioned above, and they still took it. So don't even bother buying a pedal kit. My bike has a pedal kit that Tahoe installed. Don't mean dick. So be careful with that, because they could take your Suron. They could take your Talaria, your E-Ride Pro. They can take it, regardless of what you have. So what do? We get rid of the e-bikes and get into motorcycles? Unless you're going to buy a Super that does 28 miles an hour, top speed. Which I think is not a bad idea, because this e-bike movement started 5-6 years ago. That's all we had was Super 73s and aerial riders, and I think it was much more fun back then. When there's 52 volts and 72 volts came out, now it's all about who got the fastest bike and this and that, and the e-bike scene lost its way, in my opinion. I think I had more fun when I had my Super 73 RX. You know, we rode for a little bit, 15 miles, whatever, and we spent 4 or 5 hours charging while we ate and broke bread. Then we did the other half of the ride. I think I had more fun doing that. Now everything's about speed, or who could hold the longest wheelie, you know, for bragging rights. We're already in the hustle and bustle in our normal days activities when we drive our cars. In my opinion, the e-bike was to slow down. Like Mr. E says, you gotta look up, enjoy the scenery. There's so much things you see riding an e-bike at a slow pace, because you never noticed it before in your vehicle. You're going 50 miles an hour to the next traffic light. You're in a rush to go nowhere fast. My opinion again. And we lost our ways, in my opinion. I wish we could just go back to it where it was at the beginning. I think it was way more fun. So yeah, that's it. This video is going too long right now. I just wanted to address that Bad Bunny crap. I'm already tired looking at it in social media. There's only one race, people. You're human race. It don't matter if you're Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Chinese. It don't matter where you're from, bro. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We all bleed red blood. You know. Now, if you bleed other than red, then something to talk about. You know, that's a different situation. Different topic. But, yeah. So, it's crazy out there. It's cold. I walked up the block to warm up my truck, and 10 minutes I couldn't feel my hands, and I had gloves on. So today's temperature is like 17 degrees. With the wind chill factor, it makes it feel below 20, depending on what part of the city you're in. It might feel 20 below, 15 below. Frostbite sets in after 10 minutes. So if you're out there, be careful. Try to stay home warm. It's not a good day to be outside. With that being said, enjoy your Super Bowl if that's what you watch. I'm not into that, so I don't watch that. But I think today I'll make an exception to look at this Bad Bunny performance. And with that being said, just keep warm, stay safe. There's no riding, keep it between the ditches, wear your helmet. You shouldn't be out there on the e-bike. You should be out there, no motorcycle. You shouldn't be out there at all. So take care, be safe, enjoy your Sunday, and this is Richie, or as much where you people know, Uncle Richie. Later, bitches.